Yes, people, welcome back to the 1894. I'm Hugh. I've got Dara here with me, as always, for this City versus Leicester preview. The Premier League is back. The international break is over. Thank God. We couldn't wait for that to end. Last time around we played Leicester, we lost 5-2. It was a pretty miserable day out. It was the start of the season, and we looked like we were off to a pretty poor start of the season, and we wouldn't be where we are now come this time of the year. But this is going to be another tough game. Leicester are third in the Premier League. They're very hit by injuries at the moment, but they've got Iheanacho who's in form. We know all about him too well, and there's a lot to talk about in this game. Dara, what are your thoughts going into it?
Yeah, it's gonna be a very tough game. They're fresh up beating United, they're third in the league. They're gonna be very confident coming in after what they did to us, and yet you had like Iheanacho's on form. We know what Vardy can do. He always scores against us. And even if they have injury, even if they've got injuries, it's still gonna be a very tough team to beat. I'm expecting a very tough game now.
Yeah, they're obviously capable of turning over pretty big teams on their day. Leicester, they've beaten Liverpool, they've beaten us, they've beaten United. Brendan Rodgers is clearly doing a fantastic job with them. Where do you think they pose the most threat? We spoke about Iheanacho there a second ago. They've also got James Maddison, who's injured at the moment. He's a huge key to their attacking threat, really. And where do you see it coming from, especially with our pretty solid defence at the moment?
See, I don't know. I think Tielemans has been on good form. He's a very good creator. He can hit one as well, like you saw against United. If he's able to pull the strings though and get Vardy in behind, get Iheanacho in behind, I think they start Jose Perez now, who isn't a bad player. It can come from anywhere. They have the luxury like us of having so many good players that can create something out of nothing, and I think that's a huge praise to the way they've signed players and the way they work their players around it. They're always very good, and sign them for minimal fees.
Absolutely, they've got some pretty good individual players who, on their day, can really pose a threat to any defense, which I've said they've proved against big clubs. But in terms of City perspective, is there any particular players you'd like to see play? Obviously, most of our big players, our starting 11 players, were involved in international football over the last 2 weeks. Many of them playing up to 3 games. Some of them playing maybe one and a half, 2 games. De Bruyne was on the bench for Belgium the other night. But Stones played a lot of football. He made one major mistake, I suppose you'd call it, for England the other night. The press have really focused on that, probably very unfairly, considering England won the game. Do you think it's right to put him into the starting 11 against Leicester? Is there any back four changes you'd like to see? Anyone in particular?
I think Stones deserves to start and will start because Pep's not going to want to do us confident, and I also think Laporte will start in Champions League. But Stones should be in there. It should be Stones and Diaz, and then just keep. I think keep it with Zinchenko and Cancelo, or however he wants to do it for the Champions League. Start them two to get them back into the form. Because I know Kyle Walker played, but he didn't play in his normal role. I think he plays a right wing back for England, which was a bit weird. I thought because he's not very good going forward. But Cancelo's obviously he does the same for Portugal. He's chilled out doing whatever. But get Walker back in, get him refocus on playing his role instead of to bomb forward like a right wing back for England. I think that's how it should be sorted. But like yeah, if you want, just make sure. I think Stones is nailed on to start because Pep will know as well as Diaz will know as well. We don't want to do his confidence after what happened at England. We don't want him to think, oh, they're dropping me because of this.
Absolutely. In terms of the midfield and attack, we obviously got the news that Aguero would not be with the club next season. Do you think there's much role for him in games like this? You got to bear in mind there's a Champions League game next Tuesday against Dortmund, massive quarterfinal. Do you think the selection is going to be based on the Champions League game midweek, or like we're 13 points clear of the Premier League at the moment, and we need a maximum of 14 to win the league? Bearing in mind United don't lose any other games. You know, if they don't, as long as they win all their remaining games, we only need a maximum of 14 to secure the Premier League. So how do you go with your attack in this and your midfield, bearing in mind there's so many other competitions to play for this month as well?
There's see that's a difficult one. I think there's room for rotation, but you can't go too far because this is a big game. Like you know what I mean. I think we mentioned in the podcast it's going to be vital building on the mentality when it's coming into Dortmund and latter stages of Champions League. We do need to win this, whether it be for the league or for the actual mental fortune of the players. We need to win this to keep up our run to get the streak back on track. We need to win this, and so you can't just put out a half team. He'll need to go with a decent team, and he'll start a striker. So hopefully Aguero gets run out. Maybe Mahrez will start. I know he scored. I think he scored against Leicester this season, and then maybe have not Torres, maybe Seth Sterling. Then two inverted wingers, make them I think, cut inside, because I know Leicester are very good at the back, so we're going to have to try cut through them. But the midfield was maybe De Bruyne, Gundogan, just the same as usual. Rodri, De Bruyne, Gundogan.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty safe bet. And we're going to put our full predicted 11 on screen right now, just so you guys at home can see that. And of course, leave your comments down below on what you think about that starting 11. And if there's any changes you would make, like I said, bearing in mind it's Champions League midweek, it's obviously, I know, like Dara said a second ago, Leicester's a must-win game, but it is pretty hard when you're human to not think about the Champions League fixture midweek. But this is the start of April. This is the start of the business end of the season for City. Like I said a second ago, we need a maximum of 14 points to secure the Premier League, and I have no doubt that Pep will want to secure that Premier League trophy as soon as possible, so he can put his full attention and the squad's full attention to other competitions. You know, we've got the Carabao Cup final against Spurs in a few weeks. We've got a really tough FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea in a few weeks, and like I said, the Champions League game. So this Leicester game is the first one of the business end of the season. You want to win all the games. We won all our games in February. We won all our games in March, except the United one. There's absolutely no doubt we can't. There's no reason we can't win every game from here on out as well. We have the squad depth, we have the quality, we have the players. It's just about mindset and showing you got the stones, excuse the pun at this stage, to see it out. I think there's no reason we can't compete on all four fronts. But like I said, psychology is a huge part of it. And this is the very first one, once again. This is the very first one of a huge, huge period in the club's history. And this is the closest we've possibly ever come to winning all four. And we've got some really tough opponents, and it's really exciting. But before we wrap up this video, I think we should get score predictions. So you can go first. What do you think the score would be for City Leicester?
I think Leicester won't stop piling on the pressure. I think we will concede, but I think we'll have the quality and we'll be coming off the international break where a few players got rest. I think we'll be okay to beat them. I'll say 3-1.
3-1. I think I was going to go with 3-1 as well myself, but I'm going to say 2-1. I think everyone's going to want to play out of their skin, knowing that there's not just Champions League, but massive fixtures coming down the road, and everyone wants to be involved in this because this is a huge, huge opportunity for the club to make history, and for individual players, a huge name to write their own names in history. So if you play well week in, week out, you'll be in the team week in, week out, and that's the way Pep does it. He picks players based on performance. So you perform well, you'll be involved in the big games, and everyone wants to be there. That's why you play for clubs like City, and because you want to be involved in the big games. So I'm going to go to 2-1. You're going to go to 3-1, and it's going to be a fantastic game. And we'll be doing a live watch along for it on the channel here. You guys can come along and chat to us during the game. We'll be giving you our thoughts and opinions. You go give us yours, and we'll have a good chat about it and hopefully come away with a win. Thanks a million for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new as well. We've just hit over 160 subscribers, so things are growing nicely. We're really enjoying it. We really appreciate the support. We'll leave a link to the Discord down below. You see the few names scrolling along the bar below me right now. That's all our Discord members. If you want your name to be there, just join the Discord. It's free to join. Come in and chat to us. We chat about City all day, every day. City news, City predictions, City lineups, all that, and your name will be on screen for all the videos and live streams. So do that if that's something you're interested in. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Peace.